we're live. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us. United have won 4-1 on their Boxing Day in the year of our Joe, 2019. We just spilt Alexis Stella all over the table.
All right.
Thank you everybody for joining us. Make sure to give it a like if you enjoyed that, because I fucking enjoyed that.
I really enjoyed
that. Was
that.
well good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just double checking that we are actually.
Probably the best Christmas present I've had this year.
I don't think that lasts very long, that United review.
That's quick, yeah. That went a bit faster than it should have done. There we go.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
It works, isn't it?
Do you know what? I'm just gonna. We've got pizza, obviously. But
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
this was also the present I got the lads, which is a pizza box.
I wore them at Christmas
slice
yesterday.
of socks. I don't know whose this is.
How many of them did you buy? Like 15?
Yeah, like 15 per cities.
Yeah.
I bet the Amazon guys was like, all right.
What's going on? This guy owns a nursery or something.
That did feel good. But as I've said on my fan cam I've just done with Full-Time Devils, means absolutely jack shit if we don't follow it up with 3 points against Burnley on Saturday.
Yeah,
That's
because
gonna be
I think
difficult,
Burnley
yeah.
was the one that we kind of went, we could drop points here. But that was before we dropped points to Watford
We've used
last
that
week.
card already now.
We've
haven't
used
we?
that one now.
Yeah,
We can't drop points
We
against
can't
both.
do that now.
Apparently Ronaldo stole one of my Red Bulls.
Yeah, Ronaldo did.
Oh, yeah.
I like it that we've got a sort of a crossover of the comments
That's
where people
mint,
sort of grass. Whoever's grassing on Ronaldo from the Stretford Paddock comments into Stephen. Come on, mate. Do us a favour.
High point of the game?
I mean, in terms of a sort of reaction, that Greenwood finish wasn't bad, was
Mason's
it?
goal was mint.
But if you're looking at it from a kind of, here's something we didn't know we could do, Wan-Bissaka going past his man, chipping an inch-perfect ball up to Rashford to beat the centre-back and win a header.
Both of those things.
Two things that we
Both
haven't
those
seen
things
enough
that
this
hasn't
season.
happened at all
That's two things.
for a while.
Very impressive.
Yeah, apparently people in the comments say, is McSauce okay? So I obviously know as much as you guys do on this one. I just had a quick look and saw he's left the stadium on crutches, which is not good.
No.
No,
I hope it's a
that could be
precaution.
precaution.
But it doesn't sound good.
Because he got injured very early on, like 10 minutes in, didn't he? He was
Yeah,
walking about.
Pogba was warming up, wasn't he,
He was
straight
gonna
away?
go- it looked like
I think it was
coming
actually
off.
3 minutes in.
Well, he fouled someone after 35 seconds, I think, and got booked. And then you're like, okay, right, mate, just calm down a bit. And he's flown into 2 tackles, like within a minute later. And you're like, what are you doing, mate? You've just been booked. Like, calm down a bit.
Just fancy the day off for
think
Christmas,
about it.
lad, you know what I'm
So
saying?
he's gone into them, and then he looked like he ran it off. But he was always on. Next foul he did, he was off. That was it.
There's that one we
Then
pulled down
fouled
Almer
him,
on,
yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
he?
After getting megged.
Yeah.
He's just said, look, next one. So I thought it was coming off because of that. I thought it was coming off because it was just a case of don't get set up.
Well, after Pogba didn't start, I had my suspicions that there was no way he wasn't going to play, and he was having a quick chat with the boys around us.
It's quite serious looking comments there. Sorry to interrupt you.
Ligament, a couple of people saying it as well, which means it's probably right. Torn ligament, yeah, that doesn't sound good.
That's very, very poor. Sorry.
There was a couple of conversations going on around us from people who was like, Joe, if we maybe get a couple of goal lead, leave him on the bench. You know, if he's rested him, leave him on the bench. But I actually think that maybe the squad management of bringing him on and letting him play a game without the pressure was probably a good little 45 minutes because he looked confident. The team looked more confident. Even though we didn't do anything near as much as we did in the first half in the second
We
half.
said,
We
like,
looked...
as soon as he came on, he looked so
Yeah.
much better than everyone else.
It looks like, do you know when
So
you're
much
playing
better.
football and like someone's dad just starts playing? And then all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, we are just 10 years old. And even though he's not that good at football, the fact that he's got like an adult's body, he's like his physicality and his movement and everything he does, he's got more confidence than everyone else. He's stronger than everyone else. He's mentally quicker than everyone else. It's just, like I said, someone said in the comments there, different gravy.
Different gravy.
Different gravy, yeah.
Give us a like if you would start Mason on Saturday. Give us a down if you wouldn't. Because for me, I thought he was one of the big differences, and that's why I went with more Mason Greenwood as the title. I want to see more Mason Greenwood because, I mean, his goals per game, goal per 90 so far this
Goal per
season
90
is actually ridiculous. His confidence, which is... was never been in short demand anyway, but I think he's really adapting to the man's game now from playing at underage. And I think one of the most pleasing things about him is, this isn't a knock on Dan James. I was actually excited to see if Dan James came on today because I still think Dan James is the best weapon off the bench that we could have.
Yeah.
in terms of a game-changing substitute, because Juan Mata's not that guy.
No.
But I think what Mason offers from the start is playmaking. So many times we have the ball with the forwards, we have the ball with Fred and McTominay quite deep, and no one's got the ability to play that forward ball. Mason Greenwood is someone that can collect and turn. So even if you're not playing really forward direct balls, into the last man, he's coming in between the lines.
He can do a bit of everything. He can drop in, he can play a pass over the top, he can put a cross in, and he can score goals.
Yep.
Dan James is he's direct in behind, and that's it.
He's going to get a shot or a cross.
I think Dan James kind of got to the end of the point where he had to start on that run he had at the start of the season. It kind of got to the end of, look, he's not scored or assisted in 6 or 7 games now, 8 games. Is he justifying being the starter? Which I don't think anyone thought he was going to be up until probably after the Chelsea.
Yeah, I think he's definitely overperformed so far, Dan James. But that doesn't mean he has to play every week.
I think it ran out of, this is what he's going to do now.
Yeah.
He's not a starter.
For those that are saying, can Mason play 2 games back-to-back? I mean, only he knows, because I know that some of the younger lads have physically felt the difference in playing with this, but I think he had an easy game today. I think we basically cruised the entire second half. We didn't put ourselves out. So I think we had a tough 45 minutes and had the game won. Yeah. And no one was really playing with much stress in that in the second
Even
half.
in the Newcastle side, we said they sort of went 4-1. We'll agree to 4-1. Don't embarrass us.
Don't make it 8.
And we won't try very hard, but don't embarrass us. And that sort of is what happened, isn't it? Like I said, an easy second half. Even Newcastle, I don't think had a difficult second half.
No, not really.
It just sort of simmered out and petered out almost, didn't it? But
we're going to talk about Luke Shaw.
What's happened to him?
He was so far out of position for that first
the
goal. The
whole defence.
That whole defence was all over the place. But Luke Shaw, when they played it back, was
Maguire got dragged out of
40
position.
to
and
50
Luke Shaw
yards behind where he needed to be.
Yeah.
So far up for a play. The ball was on the right hand side. It wasn't even like he was attacking down the left and it got switched. Went to that side. He was so far out of position.
So the most egregious thing with him for me is, I'm on tier 2 at Stretford End. So the view that you have is a very tactical view.
It's like that,
right behind it. It's perfect. You can see shape. You can see all sorts of stuff really, really clearly. The issue with Luke Shaw is there were so many times that United looked to break and it was always spaced on that left-hand side. And Marcus would either go out or he would cut in. When he cuts in, that's just asking for Luke Shaw. That literally is the shape that Marcus runs. That's literally turning around and going, "Oi, do you want to get in that fucking hole?" And he just didn't. And he just jogged so many times that if he'd have just put 15% more effort in and gone and got to the last man, it would have given Newcastle something to think about. How many times did you see him in the box? I'll tell you, it was fucking none. Yeah. Right? How many times did you see him complete a cross? It was none.
No, and he
did all right.
He passed the ball into Pereira, like you said, for the first goal.
Said he was doing all right because he went past the man once in a game. But you can't do that. You can't have.
But he made one tackle.
So if you think about it from a sort of a human kind of point of view, the people I've met in my life, and obviously they're not world-class footballers, but you think people would generally try hard if they were playing for Man United. The people I know and my experience of humans is you get to a point where you're playing for Man United, surely he's trying really hard, but it seems like he isn't. Like, what's going on there? Why isn't he trying hard?
Do you know what? Tony Marshall gets accused of not trying.
Doesn't make sense.
And I think that's mostly his face.
Yeah.
Because actually when you see what he does, he actually looks like he
We were talking about how well he was coming short and stuff today. I just don't get what he's doing. What's happening with Luke Shaw? Why
he almost seems depressed, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't get it. There's so many times, like you said, there's an overlap there on Martial. Just think, if in doubt, overlap. Yeah. Especially when we've got the ball on the left, no one's going to have a go at you for. You're out of position defensively anyway.
Yeah, you're not.
You might as well try and score. I really don't understand it.
That's been one of my issues when we sit against teams that have this low block against us. When we've had Luke Shaw playing, or even when we've had Ashley Young playing, their refusal to overlap and their refusal to force something to happen in the final third. Look, there's places on the pitch where I'm going to crucify you if you lose the ball.
Yeah.
In our box, in our D, in our third. No excuse. The thing like with Ashley Young doing the Cruyff turn in the new camp, there's no excuse for that there. You should know better.
Yeah.
In the middle, it gets on my tits a little bit, I'm going to be honest. In the final third, I generally don't care. All those stats that used to come out about how many times Sanchez had lost the ball.
Yeah.
But he lost them in the final third, forcing something. Joe loses the ball the most in world football.
Ronaldo?
The most. Messi.
Messi, yeah.
Joe, the next person under Messi is
Probably Ronaldo.
De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Right? Two, I'd say, pretty decent players.
Yeah. Two decent creators
He's
and
putting
goal scorers.
crosses in. It's trying risky
Yeah.
passes. It's
Correct.
doing it's having a shot from
Yeah.
30 yards away that you fancy.
Yeah, it's when your centre-back's on that list that you start worrying.
Correct.
Yeah.
When
Or
you're
your
left
number 6 is on there.
Or
Now,
your left-back, yeah.
I'll, at the same time, I'll also crucify Andres Pereira because he doesn't look like he's actually going to create anything.
No.
He
No.
just
And
looks
he
like he's
tries it.
doing mad shit.
Again,
He
though, he
tries it.
assisted the first goal, but after that, he rewarded himself with 3 shots from 25 yards out.
Yeah, and another thing is Luke Shaw had the second highest number of ball possessions from United and created nothing with them. I mean, all right, you can give him a pre-assist if you like for that goal, but he didn't actually create a single chance.
No.
Wan-Bissaka literally got a cross. He put
Assist.
more crosses in. He put more tackles in. He had more interceptions. And you're like,
And this
what
is
the
the
fuck
kind-
did you do?
Well, that's the
This
thing.
is the kind of thing is like you can slag off like Wan-Bissaka. We have said all season like he has to do more offensively.
Yeah.
He has to get better with his crosses. He has to start pulling.
Jay Luke's in the comments. Shaw had a good game. What are these arseholes talking about? He literally didn't.
He didn't.
He
And the
didn't.
thing is, like I said, Wan-Bissaka, he does need to be better going forward. And today was probably the first time he's put a decent cross in and scored a goal from it.
I don't
Like,
think it's the
that's-
first time he's put a decent cross in, but it's
No,
the first time
we've
it's turned
scored
into a goal. Yeah, definitely.
From a decent cross.
Yeah. But
If Luke Shaw but Wan-Bissaka has also been unbelievably good defensively.
yeah.
Like you can't knock him. Like the amount of times he saved us and managed Raheem Sterling out of the game.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw's not done that.
No.
Yes, he's had glimpses of okay bits of football, good bits of football like today where he's gone past a couple of players. He's not been perfect defensively. He's not been good defensively. a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of the
not
time.
like his
No,
lack of
he
attacking
had
has
so
been.
much of the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Luke Shaw passes. Do you remember when Tony Valencia was just that 45-degree inside pass and it just
Yeah.
frustrated the shit out of you? Like,
Every
do
single
something with the fucking ball, man.
Yeah, try something.
Yeah, just always being too safe of it. Too safe of it.
Do you think that's a sort of a directive from Solskjaer? Or do you think that is a lack of confidence, a lack of will, a lack of... What do you think that is? Because from everything we've seen from Solskjaer, he seems to want overlapping attacking fullbacks.
He wants players to do.
Like what? Where is that coming from? Do you think it's just, you know what, I can't be arsed, or I'm tired, or I don't care, or what? It doesn't make any. That's what I mean. I know
Yeah,
I keep saying
I
it,
don't
but
know.
it's just a strange, unexplainable
Not good enough.
kind
I
of
think it's just
set
not-
of
he's not quite good
circumstances.
enough.
Yeah, maybe it's just that he doesn't have the confidence in himself because he's not quite good enough. I don't know.
I know of a player on this wall.
Well, that one
All right, I was going to make it more fucking
cryptic.
cryptic than that, but yeah.
I'll cover it. I didn't know what you were going to say afterwards, so I shouldn't have said that.
Who absolutely fucking tore him a new one.
Yeah. Well, I think that was reported though as well, wasn't it? So
Was it?
Yeah.
Right.
The
Yeah, he absolutely fucking destroyed him. And I think that guy knows a left back.
yeah. He probably knows what it takes.
Knows what it takes as a left back in a United shirt. I haven't spoken to him about Brandon yet. I am really interested in finding out what he thinks about Brandon.
Can we talk about Brandon?
Yeah, if you want.
What's going on?
Don't know.
Oh, right. Because I thought you alluded in
No.
in
When
the-
I said he's not injured.
you know that he's not injured, but that's
I
it.
know that he's not injured.
Because the fact that he's not played in the last 4 or 5 games, not even been in the squad, when he'd been very impressive up until the Sheffield United game, I thought that was the first time he looked like he had, a bit of a difficult game. But everyone was terrible. Yeah, I'm not singling.
Everyone
him
was
out,
bad
but
that game. And
that
if
was the only
your
time I've
left
ever
back's
seen
getting
him not look
battered,
great.
4 games in 10 days. Stay ready.
So he's going to get some game time.
Yeah,
you're saying?
I would say that.
I think
looks
it's
likely,
maybe it's
doesn't it?
rotation a bit, which
Yeah.
you can kind of understand. You can half
Yeah.
understand with a little
I sort
bit.
of can, especially when we know that some of these young lads have struggled adapting. But I don't think Brandon's one of them, to be honest. He's really not. I don't think struggled adapting to the physicality, unless just after the game that he's in recovery, just fucking dead.
Yeah, maybe
He
his
doesn't-
ankles are killing him. His back's it. His massage extra this, extra that. Maybe we don't know about that stuff, do we? I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, Balti Pie here with some pie propaganda says stop eating pizza and eat a pie. I think you've got a bit of an agenda there.
Yeah.
To be honest.
You're blinded by the pie, mate.
Hey, it's Adam J. Says Williams isn't that great. I don't think he's perfect. I certainly don't think he's perfect, but I don't see him getting caught out of position as much as Luke Shaw does, and I think he forces it more with stuff in the final third.
I think he's 19, and if he gets a decent run the tide, could become very, very, very good. Like
Jay Lucas says, of course Howson would know what everyone would say about Shaw. Stop the agenda and dick riding. I mean, like the lad said, it was reported. I wasn't aware that it was reported, but
it wasn't necessarily reported specifically about Shaw, but it was reported that Evra came in and basically had a go at a lot of people who he didn't think were playing up to United standards. Shaw being one of them.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. This isn't me trying to fucking sound big-headed or anything. You do realise I know fucking Patrice Evra, right? That isn't like a thingy. Like, that video you saw of me was me and him in his bedroom. Like, that isn't just like I fucking met him on a night out once.
What was that video? I didn't see what you're doing. You in his bedroom? What was that?
When I went to Marseille. When I went to Marseille, it was because I was supposed to be doing Evra's social media for him. That was the reason I went to Marseille, and I did the whole travel vlog and everything. I was doing Evra's... The chicken thing, fuck all to do with me.
Just thought you said that was your... That was in your...
Absolutely nothing to do with me. I stopped working with him when he volleyed the guy in the head because he decided he was going to just fuck all his social media.
Yeah, just have some time.
But no, like, and I chat to him regular. I ask him on a fucking very regular basis about coming doing the fucking podcast.
Yeah.
And he just goes, soon there'll be loads to talk about. And I think he's just waiting until he's not doing the coaching at United. What's that? It's as simple as
And
that.
the thing is, like, United need the highest of highest standards for all these players. Like, everyone says, yeah, but it was good today.
Yeah.
You're at Manchester United. You should be...
You need to be good most weeks.
Every single time.
Yeah, and I hate to target anyone, especially after we've won a game, but it's the same with, for me, Fred. Again, not that that's anyone's opinion.
Many drops.
I feel like he can have good performances, but generally he makes too many mistakes. He's not quite at that level. Maybe he can get there, maybe he can't. But people say, "Oh, Fred was good today," but he never does anything. You see Pogba come on, and you see what a genuinely good midfielder can do, creating chances, making tackles, getting in the way of people. And you just have to question pretty much everyone else in the squad. And I think Fred is one of those where he was good today, but how good actually is he?
Crap tactics by Ollie says, I've been off.
You know what? If we have crap tactics and win 4-1, I don't even care.
Yeah.
What tactics were they then? What were they?
Yeah, what was the plan?
Win 4-1.
What was the plan today? I can tell the plan wasn't to get caught out on the counter-attack like we did within 25 minutes.
Yeah, for Luke Shaw to be 50 yards out of position and Maguire, to be honest, to be 20 yards out of position.
I guarantee you Solskjær didn't say that.
No.
And that wasn't the plan before.
Maguire got dragged over to the ball for the first goal, and Luke Shaw was nowhere
I actually do need to watch the Newcastle goal again and just see what the script was with it.
It was just the whole... 3 of the back 4 went over it, and Luke Shaw still...
Yeah, everyone got drawn to the ball, and Luke Shaw was like... Oh shit! They've got the ball. I'm going to go back.
It was a weird, like, who was it that dived through? Who was it that drove through the middle?
I think it was one of the long staffs, but I'm not sure.
One of them.
I know he put it away, but I don't think it was him that drove through the middle. We made him look like fucking Messi. Yeah. The ball was just cannon in our shins.
Actually.
It might have been Almiron, yeah. It was just...
Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Any...
Someone saying Liverpool don't lose. No, it's just about half-time now in
I think it just started the second half.
Oh, it's just started the second half. All right, fair enough.
Liverpool look good.
Yeah.
Liverpool look good. Let's not talk about that.
The way you guys are talking, it feels like a loss. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I think you can just highlighting some of the issues that are out there. I mean, here's something that I picked up on. With 5 minutes to go, we'd had 8 shots on target. This is how many shots on target we had against Watford.
We scored 4 today.
Yeah.
And not scored
and the same against Everton. We were saying the same thing in the watch along. Like
mental.
The conversion rate. There was one point when it was 7. It was 7 shots, 4 goals from 7 on target. Like,
and you're like that's really good.
Even if you can get 2 from that, we would have won the last 3 games. Yeah. Or the last 2 games.
Well, I know that I bring this one up a lot, but like when City beat us 6-1, they had 7 shots on target.
Yeah, I know.
We had 6.
Yeah,
doesn't tell the story of the game, does it?
Yeah, but it's just you got to put them away. And again, like Ole's tactics were bad today, right? Okay, but were they bad when De Gea dropped the ball through his arm? Like we asked in the comments today for our review on Stretford Paddock. we asked for the people who were saying Ole out after 1-0. What are your thoughts now?
It's not a case of we want to slag you off.
No, we just wanted to have a chat with people who are Ole out.
Just want to talk.
And he said,
the
reply was Newcastle lost because Newcastle lost because they made mistakes. Like, and yet
Yeah, but we
you
lost.
don't you don't give credit
last
to
week. We lost because we made
exactly.
mistakes.
So it's a
It's not a.
Ollie's tactics were
I
bad.
said as well. I said I'm unsure whether Ollie is the right manager to be at Manchester United. I think everyone is still like.
We don't know yet
We
because
don't
we
know.
haven't won.
Turn that aircon on. It's fucking roasting in
Yeah.
here.
Kenny Rogers roasters in here, lads.
So you're unsure, but the one thing I am sure about is I don't think anyone comes in and makes things 1,000 times.
No one wins the
better
league with
by
this team.
No,
do
me
they?
and Jay
walking
said
into
this
it.
after the game where Ollie might not be the man that leads us to glory, but he might be the man that sets us up to be led to glory
yeah.
because of what he's done. Like whoever comes in next gets Mason Greenwood with 40 games under his belt.
Yeah.
And
That
you're like-
could be huge.
And we could look back on Solskjær as the first manager. I mean, obviously since Ferguson, and we've seen it before, but the first manager of this new era that has put us on the tracks that will take us to those titles. Like I said, it's a different play style. We're trying to be a team that has a play style above the
I think
manager
if he
for the
stays
first time
2 or
in
3 years, right, you got a 21-year-old Mason Greenwood with 100 games under his belt.
and probably 45 goals.
And
Let's
then
face it,
on the other side, you've got
Probably about
70.
a 25-year-old.
fuck, I don't know.
25-year-old Rashford with probably 100 goals under his belt,
Oh,
I
easily.
thought way more than that by then, yeah.
and the rest, and you're like,
And McTominay is going to be, a regular, experienced central midfielder. Wan-Bissaka is going to be 23, 24. You could start to see. You still need to sign world-class players.
Yeah, we're
but you
not
could have
saying
a very, very, very strong core of what we've currently got right now. This could be the team that's waiting for a Cantona, like in 1992. Who's going to be the Dion Dublin that gets injured and fucking never gets to play for us again?
Yeah.
Like it could
Fred.
be something like that. I think Ollie's doing thankless work a little bit at
Yes.
the moment, but I don't think that there's an obvious. And I'm serious. People are like, "What about Poch?" Poch is a fucking huge risk.
Yeah.
Huge risk. Like,
yeah,
he developed Harry Kane. Would Harry Kane have developed anyway?
Well, to be fair, Harry
Like-
Kane had scored the 20 goals, or he had that little run under Tim Sherwood. He was the one that brought him in the team.
Hey, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So
this
it
is it.
was
Like,
nothing
if
Pochettino
someone
didn't
comes
bring
in,
him in the
do
team.
they get the credit for Greenwood,
I
or
think-
was Greenwood always going to be quality?
As we've said so many times, the things you can. We don't know those sort of intangibles like that. We don't know how good Harry Kane would have been without Pochettino. But the things you can definitely credit a manager for are the signings they make, how well they keep the team happy, and whether they win trophies or not. Pochettino didn't really get a chance to make too many signings, so that's a maybe.
Pochettino spent
he
300 million.
He kept the team
The ones
happy.
and
he didn't win any trophies.
They were very good. They were very good.
Well, he kept them
signings.
very happy until
Yeah.
then they weren't happy.
Until they weren't happy.
Well, until
Yeah,
that
exactly.
decided
That's,
on, yeah.
it's
But
hard
what
to
makes
credit
me laugh
a
is
manager
that
for certain things.
people listen to what Solskjær says explicitly in a press conference, which I think is wrong anyway. I think you should always take it with a handful of salt what a manager says in a
Yeah.
press conference, because he's not talking to you, he's talking to the press, and he's got a thing he wants to put out in the press. Solskjaer's attitude is him trying to be the polar opposite of what Mourinho was,
Yeah.
which is an argumentative and nasty towards the
Downbeat.
players. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to be the opposite. He's trying to inspire these players. He's trying to lift these players. So when he says things like, "I'm happy with the squad," I know for a fact
Yeah.
he was flipping fucking tables in the back
Exactly.
that he didn't get some of the signings that he was after.
If anyone's watched any of the build up to the election that happened last month, you see the way people speak in the press when they are talking to the press. They repeat sound bites, they repeat the things they want to be put in the newspapers. And to a lesser extent, Solskjaer's doing the same thing. He says the things that if he only says positive things, they can only quote him on positive things. So that's what he says. It's not necessarily the truth. It's certainly not what he's saying to the players. And you can read between the lines with how he acts and how he looks, and it's almost like it's a bit of a game. Like I said, he's saying this to the press, not
people
to us.
will say, he said he's happy with all the signings, because that's a negative.
Right.
But what they also won't say is that when he said, "I approve all the signings."
Yeah.
But what they will say is, they won't give him the Dan James signing because they'll say Ryan Giggs recommended him.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the process of a signing at United goes through like 5 different pairs of hands for a rubber stamp.
Yep.
The management team being one of them, the final one being Matt Judge and Ed Woodward. If the analysis department, scouting department, management team and Woodward all don't agree that this is a signing that they want to make, that player doesn't get signed. Ryan Giggs doesn't work for United, he works for Wales. Ryan Giggs isn't just going to ring up and go sign him and they'll be like, "Okay, Ryan Giggs said so."
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how many recommendations United get for players?
Hundreds by everyone. Literally everyone wants their client
I
to
find
go
it
to Man
weird
United.
that United looked at 802 right backs. I find that a bit like, and we didn't sign one for 78 quid.
Yeah.
The fact that we
There
looked
must have
at
been someone that you went.
that
Well,
you're
then
just
again,
at someone at Droylsden, like you are not at that level, mate.
But out of
Take a
802,
risk.
though, how many do you actually think are good enough for United? Maybe 10?
Why are we looking at 802 then?
Yeah. Well, there's another question for you. Yeah. what is it? Isn't that a waste of resources almost?
Yeah. Right. Think how many signings that we probably need to make, and you're probably wasting. What if it's free match reports?
That's
on
90% of your
Anyone
resources
could have
waste
told
on the
He's the best
750
young right back in the league
that there's
you
no
can get
chance
right
of
now.
getting.
There you go. Done.
Yeah.
He told me he wasn't a kid at fucking Northampton. That was just outrageous at the end of his contract, and you're like, mate,
But I suppose
you're
we did
probably
sign
a
people
Premier-
like Hannibal, and we do sign players who are 15, 16, and you never know how
We've-
they're going
we've
to
done
work
that for a
out.
while, to be
Yeah,
honest.
exactly. So
Fosu Mensah's one of them. Pogba's
Yeah.
one of them. Chong was one of them. There's been a lot of those
The other
sorts of
thing
players.
Ollie
That's
got
policy.
slagged-
That is.
Ollie got slagged off this week because he said we're building the team now for next season, not for this season.
And people are like, you've thrown the towel in the league. Like,
But
we're
imagine-
24
No.
fucking
Imagine if
points
he'd come
behind.
no,
out
you're
and
right.
said,
We're trying to win the league
Do you know
still.
what? We need to,
That's what we're doing.
We need to win 4 or 5. We're going to win 3 trophies this year.
Yeah, or if he'd have come out and
Everyone would
gone,
have
if he'd have come out and said, I haven't given up on the league this year, they'd been like, are you fucking radio?
Delusional.
What are you on about? You're 24
What he
points
said
behind a team
is-
that hasn't lost.
This
Can't
team,
beat Watford, you fucking tube. Like, you can't win.
And then he's come out today and said, look, we are building for next year, but we're also wanting to win trophies, which is what he wants to do. You know, he put a strong team out against Colchester last week and did the job because he knows that he wants to get to a final. He wants to have that experience
Yeah.
for a couple of... Because
And that, my attitude difference.
that's the difference between...
Him and Pochettino.
Pochettino.
Pochettino's like, trophies only feed
Yeah.
ego.
And I know I say this all the time, but Pochettino was talking himself out of leaving Tottenham, talking himself into leaving Tottenham for about 6 months. He was saying, if we win this, I might go home. He was saying, we're not going to win trophies under this kind of system with the transfers. Like, if that was United, basically doing what Mourinho did, saying we're not going to win anything if we don't sign anyone, which is essentially the quote that put him out of a job, and that kind of like attitude that he put forward, and then saying, you know what, if we win the Champions League, I'm going home. I'm going back to Argentina. Imagine if Pochettino was the manager of United saying stuff like that. He would be torn to shreds.
Tricky Memento says, do you honestly believe that United scouted 802 right backs and we haven't been able to scout one right winger since Valencia got moved to right back? Yeah, I actually do.
Yeah.
I really do, yeah.
It's a good
I
point,
think their
to be
system
fair.
is, right, we need the right back. Okay, right, we'll do right back first.
I know that
We need a winger,
internally
though.
the scouts called, you'll love this, Looking for Jesus project is what they call it, looking for the Messiah, because they're literally just trying to... And to be fair, on one hand, they're mocking it. The lads that are working on it are sort of mocking it. But on the other hand, they're looking for a Ronaldo.
Yeah.
They're not looking for...
They're looking for that Messi that's 14 years old, and you just kind of go...
They're,
"Let's
and
just get him
Hannibals
for-"
and Pogba's and even Nishan Burkhardt, they probably thought... I mean, Nishan Burkhardt, as an under-16, scored 64 goals in 30-something games or something. So they was probably like, watch this little fucker go. Doesn't always work, but it cost us 30 grand.
Yeah.
So they are taking those punts and those gambles on 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Adam, what's he called? Aliou Traore was another one of those. He was so highly rated. The first couple of training sessions, some of the lads was like, it's like having a fucking 16-year-old Paul Pogba. And then something happened and it just never quite translated for him. Although he did look great last couple of youth games. They're definitely trying this sort of thing. Do I think we've won and watched 5 matches of 802 right backs? Probably not. I don't know what their analysis
That's
is.
probably
analysis
every
system.
single name that's on any spreadsheet, any list.
Yeah.
In terms of the people who've gone to see, it, like we said, it can't be that extensive because it's literally a disgusting waste of resources.
But
if it
we
is.
also do have full-time scouts in every European nation.
Oh, of course.
And I think someone mentioned if there's a United... Because, like, Portuguese press is the big one for this, and Ebola are fucking particularly horrible for it, and Don Ballon. If there's a Portuguese game, stop reporting that United scouts are in attendance, right? Because if there's a Portuguese top-flight game, here's what someone said is, assume... This was when Jose was here, so it may have changed, because he might have just been looking for Portuguese players. Assume there's a United scout there. That's what they said. Every single top-flight game in Portugal, assume United have got a scout there.
And then from
he's
that...
not necessarily signing anybody. He's making reports.
You can assume
he's
that
building a database.
Every other top flight, certainly the top 5 leagues,
Yeah, you would have
There'd be
thought
someone at
Italy,
almost every
France, Spain, Portugal,
Germany,
probably Holland. What's that? 6-7 leagues, and probably England.
Most
I
games.
would certainly want Championship
now,
looked at.
Probably at Nordic leagues as well. With Ollie there, he's probably going. I know the Norwegian league. Go and have a look at. Here's 6-7 teams that can play football. Go and have a look at them. Probably happens.
Yeah, and I want that 802 players. I'd be very interested in finding out what exactly that looks like. Is there 742 that we go not even going to look at? 50 that we go, let's have another look. 10 out of the ones you've had another look that you put onto a short list. 5 that you actually try and recruit. 1 you get over the line. That's
probably how it goes.
Ballpark sort of numbers.
Yeah, 10% and 10% is what everyone says for everything. It's probably the same with footballers.
So there's probably 8, 9, or 10 that they really go, we'd like to sign this player. Let's see who's the cheapest, who's the easiest, how long they got the contract, all that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, on that note, before we bounce, I want to say Tony Marshall's finishes. If there's children watching, shouldn't have been looking at that.
No, the second one especially was. It looked like it overran it and then just.
I mean, the first one, and the one at the post. I mean, all of those shots were just. Yeah. Andrew Kay says, I don't know what these scouts are doing with such a vast network. When is the last time we signed a hidden gem from abroad on the street? That's my issue with it, mate.
That is my issue. We did a transfer thing on Paddock a few weeks ago, and someone says, who do you want to sign? I want to sign someone I have never heard of. I want someone to come in that I've never heard of.
I didn't know Dan James.
No.
Because if I can pick them out, then they're not doing a good job. if I can go, he signed Haaland, he scored 34 goals. Well, no shit. I mean, everyone can see.
But then there's that almost illustrate, first of all, how difficult it is to compete with other teams for someone like Haaland, and also how few players can actually improve a team that is probably the 4th, 5th, or 6th best in England. Like there aren't that many players that can improve United.
Players that you kind of go, where's he come from?
Yeah, of course.
You want a Vidic who you've never heard of before. Not really heard of.
Martin in the comments there nails it. He goes, we should have brought Maguire from Hull. Madison you could have got from Norwich. It's like they're scared to gamble, although they have done that with Dan James. Maybe that does represent a
change, and that's
thinking.
We can still slag off. We're going to slag off Ed Woodward again because January's coming, so everyone's going to slag him off because that's how it goes. But the transfer window just gone. He did what we It was a step in the right direction. But we still was negative in terms of signings. Yeah, he got two ones that were definite over the line. We need the right back, we need a centre half. He did them. And then he got that one that was the...
Losing Herrera, you should have had a midfielder.
You should have done that. You should have done those things. But...
Losing Lukaku, you should have brought a striker.
There's definitely progression in those three signings. Were right signings for Manchester United, and you can't deny that.
I think something about that comment, though, that is easy to underestimate is what you're doing there is negating the experience that Maguire got from Hull and from Leicester, the experience that Maddison got from Norwich and from Leicester. Not just because you signed them earlier doesn't mean they will progress into the player that they become at those teams. Like,
that's true, but you got a full season. Save 500 million.
You might do, but he got Maguire got a full season at Leicester, being one of the best centre backs in the league. Maddison's getting full seasons at Leicester, and they're second in the league. Like,
it's weird.
We couldn't offer him that.
Like
His experience that's invaluable.
If he'd have gone from Chelsea to Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Because his confidence
that Roma
was
time was important.
Of everything.
All of the young players I know and chat to, I say if you're not gonna, I mean, I don't know, Nishan's one of them. As I said to Nishan, if you're not gonna play, and it was kind of clear that Mason had overtook him a little bit. If you're not gonna play, mate, you need to go and get games somewhere. When Freiburg come in for him. Well, that's a fucking good move, mate. Good fucking look. And, get into the first team and play games because you're a good player. That 18 to 21, you need 50, 60, 100 matches.
Salah went elsewhere.
De Bruyne.
Became better at Roma. Came back to Premier League and is now a good player.
De Bruyne, great point.
Left Chelsea, and for as much as everyone said they didn't fancy him, he wasn't good enough.
No.
There's a reason.
And even Sancho,
Sancho...
Lukaku, if you got him straight from Chelsea, he went to West Brom, he went to Everton and became
They weren't quite good enough then. They went and got experience, they got game time, they got play, and they got confidence, and then came in and they've done a job for a bigger team.
Yeah.
Maybe you need that sometimes.
I think matches are so important, and for me, some of the players that get that... I know when Mason signed his deal, his initial deal was a 3-year deal, and I remember talking to someone around the deal going like, why has he only signed a 3-year deal? And the reason that the lads sign a 3-year deal is because in 12 months, if they've not done something with you, you start making the noises that you're going.
Yeah.
Because then in that next 12 months, if they don't literally show you what they're going to do, you know you're walking out after the next 12 months. Whereas if you're on a 5-year deal and someone like Cameron Borthwick-Jackson just gets like locked away and just fucked off and put on loan and stuff like that.
I mean, we're almost seeing the same thing with Phil Jones now. Like, he signed up, he's got 4 years left on his deal now?
Something like that, yeah.
And he's not getting games, and there's no one going to take him on for the amount of money he's on.
That's
3-year
almost
deal.
career over it. Not even 30.
And a lot of the lads that left, Josh Harrop and stuff like that, they're not in the Premier League right now, but maybe they were never Premier League level.
Yeah.
Maybe they're good Championship players, and I'm sure he's earning a fine living in the Championship, making good money and
People
playing
aren't
every
doing
week.
bad in the Championship, are they?
So I don't, not every player that comes through is a Mason Greenwood. He's a generational player. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know whether Brandon would be able to do it. I knew in my heart that he was fucking better than Ashley Young, and I thought he could be better than Luke Shaw, but I didn't know where he would end up. And I think he surprised me probably by being 25% better than I thought he'd be in the first team.
Yeah.
The thing is that 19 you've still got time. He still could.
His attitude was always going to carry him
to go somewhere else for a year. He still could need to come back. He can still make those decisions.
Of course, yeah. I think like other lads that I chat to on a regular basis, like Dylan Levitt, maybe.
Yeah.
I think Dylan probably should go on loan. I think Jimmy Garner should probably go on loan. With the age of Wan-Bissaka, maybe Ethan Laird had been. I mean, Ethan Laird would crush it at a Championship team somewhere.
Yeah.
Like if he went to Villa, for example, they had a great relationship with Axel. We've got another one here. Same attitude, brilliant fucking work ethic, very high, 5-star potential ceiling. Do you want him on loan? Fucking right.
Or even someone like that can attack and go on broad, little less pressure defensively and stuff like that. Go and play in Spain or something like that. And
in Spain, or
show what you can do.
For a playoffs level player in a team in the Championship, what Sheffield Wednesday or Leeds, not necessarily Leeds, but West Brom.
One of the top
I
3 or
don't
4
think Leeds are going
favourites.
to take it.
Oh,
See,
that was such a
imagine.
bad decision by Cameron to go to fucking Leeds. That was
It's
never
happened
gonna
before,
go
exactly, yeah. But yeah, somewhere is going to get plenty of games, win 25 games in a season, which is probably more than United are going to win.
What do you mean?
Do you mean we're going to win the Europa League?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. But yeah, as we saw with Twanzebe last season, it can playing games and winning games can really bring the best out of someone.
Righty, shall we call it a day there? Right, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe if you are new in the mixer. Me and Joe are in tomorrow. I think I'm doing a preview with Jay. He's just texted me. For Devils, we've got preview. We've got 5 things we learned coming up. Might be Luke Shaw heavy. I mean, it is. Roger says, my God, you lot are mind-numbingly bored. I didn't ask it a click.
Cheers, mate.
So I think these two are going out.
Might be going out. Christmas boxing, isn't it?
I'll see you in the next one, everybody. Laters. You need to run off and...
Merry Christmas, eh?
Yeah, like it while Alex is figuring out what to do. See you in a bit.